What is going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Yamcast. As you can tell, it is still chilly here. We're both wearing hoodies, looking a little different here on the Yamcast. Don't worry, it is okay. Everything's going to be just fine. Although we're about to have Snowmageddon happen here in Austin, and maybe by the time you see this, we'll all be dead. I don't know.
Yep, we'll be frozen solid, all popsicles.
Today's Yamcast, episode 73. We've got some fun news from Triumph, possibly a new model of motorcycle from them. We've also got news from Ducati. They got a new custom program. Kind of looks like a CVO thing, if you ask me. We're going to take a look at that. And we also have hybrid patents filed from Kawasaki. Going to be chatting about that. We also have the DM portion of the podcast where we're going to ask our Discord boys to send us in nice messages, and we will read them, which, in case you didn't know, you can sign up over on yammynoob.co, become a Discord member, and join and watch these live, do the behind-the-scenes stuff. It's a ton of fun. I'm on Discord every day. You wouldn't want to miss it. I really enjoy it. And then lastly, we have a meme contest in which I am on the chopping block once again. But I think it's going to be a good one. We've got some heavy hitters on this meme contest today. I think it's going to be a good meme contest, a good Yamcast, and sit back and enjoy. It's going to be a good one.
Starting off with the news. Do we want to start with the big news from Triumph?
Yeah, let's start off news from Triumph.
Okay, here we go. Single-cylinder Triumph set to challenge the Royal Enfield Meteor has been spied in testing.
The way you say set to challenge the Meteor, I think a donkey with a liquor cycle engine could challenge a Meteor, right? Like, yeah. Come on.
But
they sell a lot of them, don't they?
They sell a lot of them.
I don't understand how. Is it because they're so cheap?
I guess. Because all Royal Enfields are basically dirt cheap for what they are.
Yeah, I know, but the Meteor is like a foot forward, like weird little thing, isn't it?
Well, it's like super mega neutral where you're sitting in a chair.
Yeah.
So your feet are... like it's somewhere between forwards and mids.
Because what's the price point on Meteor?
Let's do a Google.
I love how it's the news about Triumph, and now we're Googling Meteor stuff, but this is the Yamcast.
50 price. $4,399 in the Fireball trim.
Fireball trim. $43.99 for that that's a good deal for a brand new bike. You can't really find that anywhere else.
Mega aggressive.
Yeah, it's pretty aggressive, but Triumph is going to want a little piece of that pie. I don't think they're going to be able to come in with that price point, even with their partnership they're doing for this bike, which is the Bajaj brand, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep. So they are working with Bajaj. Bajaj makes the...
Pulsar.
They make the Pulsar, but they're also the guys that do the KTM engines, if I'm not mistaken.
I thought that was TVS. Are they the same? I don't know.
I think Bajaj owns them now. Like we're
gonna look so foolish.
They're
to our
a massive conglomerate.
Yeah,
yeah. They do a lot of stuff. I think they're involved in BMW as well for the G310s.
Yes, I know they are as well. Yeah.
So they make a bunch of these thumpers, and for what they are, those thumpers are pretty good, and they're solid, reliable engines.
Yeah. So
especially if this is the factory that is making those KTM engines, because those KTM engines are fun.
Yeah.
So they know what they're doing, and a nice lightweight Triumph. This is what the Trident was trying to be, a nice entry point into the brand that they could sell everywhere, but they couldn't quite get right with their, it has to be A2 compliant, so you've got to put the part in it that limits the horsepower and all that stuff.
Yeah. I think if they can nail this and make it look and feel like a Triumph, they'll have a winner, dude. Because the Triumph build quality is so nice. All their bikes are so buttoned up and so nice and feel so good to ride. I mean, if it feels like a Trident even a little bit, that'll be a huge leg up over the current existing crop of beginner bikes. And if it's powered by this kind of cool single-cylinder, boppy kind of thing, that could be fun. One thing I'm noticing that's really cool is the exhaust routing and the side of the engine case is made to look a little bit like a Bonneville. They've got the air fins there, and the pipe is kind of routed in the same way. But it obviously doesn't have the pipe on the other side. So that's kind of cool, It kind of looks like a weird half Bonneville thing.
There's even like a bash guard on here, so if we pull up a bigger version of this photo here.
Yeah, they got a little skid plate on there.
They got the bash guard, they got the big radiator here.
Yeah.
There's your fins. I mean, it definitely looks like a Triumph engine with the like triangular guitar pick shaped cases there.
Yeah, I mean, you squint and you're like, that's a Bonneville, right? And that's great if they can get it in at that under $6,000 price point.
Yeah, and I mean okay, so we've looked at a lot of spy shots lately. We've seen the spy shots of the Norden or the some 901. This 901 Vitpillen or Svartpillen, something like that. We've seen KTM spy shots. This one, it looks the most on brand, I would say, so far of the spy shots that I see. Like, I see the Trident tank in there. I see the Trident subframe almost. I don't see any Daytona bits, so now they've got a new frame that they're working with.
You think at this point is how old the Daytona frame is. They could put it in a beginner bike.
We've also got upside down forks up front. Looks like 17s front and back. Looks like a pretty competent little sport naked bike.
I think this also bodes really, really well because Triumph has their new dirt bike initiative, right? Yep. And I still really believe, and we'll see if this will happen, that Triumph is going to make a 350cc dual sport dirt bike thing, enduro type model. Because they said they're going to make dirt bikes. They said that with Ricky Carmichael. They've got single cylinders now. They're going to do it. And they're going to make that cool looking dual sport that we've been talking about. It's going to happen.
I think if anybody could make a cool looking dual sport, it's probably Triumph.
Yeah.
Because they would basically make it look like a scrambler.
Yeah.
And then it's not a scrambler, it's a dual sport. It's actually what a scrambler's trying to be.
Right.
What do you think that this would go for right here?
So I'm looking again. Pull up the larger image again. We'll try to think about this a little bit. I'm seeing upside down forks, which is a good start there.
One big disc up front.
One large disc up front. 17s. The gas tank looks pretty nice. I think this is
that almost looks like a TFT too. How big and wide that is.
I mean, TFTs are in the Duke 390s nowadays. Like that, it totally could be a TFT. You know, like, and that would
look
be,
at how big that dash is.
That could be cool, right? Because maybe they're building off some existing Bajaj that has a TFT or something like that. So, I think if they can get this bike for like $58.99, they will sell so many of them.
I think the Duke is 55, so that would be right on brand, or right on target.
And Triumph is a more premium brand, and people would be willing to pay a little bit more for that kind of cooler look. And it pains me to say it, but like, this is the kind of stuff Harley should be doing.
Yeah, for sure.
Bring back the Buell Blast.
Hell yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
But
don't make it ass to ride like it was.
You want to make a good looking bike. You want to give it an engine that, like, nobody out there is like, oh, the DRZ's engine sucks.
No.
It's this little engine that does exactly what it says on the tin. It's fun. It's in a great bike with great, suspension, and the setup is right for what it's meant to be.
Yeah.
Just pair an engine with a good frame and put it at a good price.
Exactly. Don't reinvent the wheel, you know? And you can easily steal away some market share from people who maybe they obviously want a beginner bike, but they maybe don't vibe and gel with the MT-03 styling, Ninja 400 styling. They're like, I want something that looks a little bit more respectable and gentlemanly, all these things. I don't know.
Here's something that I'm noticing. That right there from this angle makes that front end look more like an 18 than a 17. It looks bigger than the rear wheel.
It does a little bit.
It looks like bigger and thinner like the Gixxer's front end.
Maybe it is. But I think the Gixxer's running 17s front and rear. One thing I want to go back to that other image really quick. The last one.
This one?
Third one, yeah. It has a reverse chain like the Bonneville.
Oh, yeah. The chain's on the wrong side.
The chain's on the wrong side. So that's kind of a cool throwback to the Bonneville.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's kind of funny, too.
I wonder, I mean, even with just a weird 18-inch front end,
I'm sure it'll be fine.
It should be fine.
Because it depends on if they're going to try to position it as a kind of scramblery
Although,
bike.
look, this one's got handguards where I don't think the other one did. This one doesn't have handguards on it. It's just got these bar-end Triumph mirrors.
So maybe in
and then this is handguards.
Maybe in the testing and the spy shots, they're trying to figure out if it would work with a bigger, oversized wheel. Maybe that one's on like a 19 cast wheel or something like that.
It's also got a different pipe. So if we look at this one, it's got this big, big chonky pipe there.
Yeah, they're just testing parts. Yeah.
That's interesting. So we could see like a baby scrambler.
Go back to the first image. I know it is the same. Okay, yeah, that chain is on that side. I just want to make sure it was the same bike.
That wheel definitely looks smaller though.
It did for sure. Yeah.
Like that one looks like
maybe it's just the angle of it, kind of on its side that makes it look smaller. I'm not sure, but I'm sure they're testing all kinds of stuff on this bike, you know?
Yeah. So this is cool. This is actually Triumph making a honest-to-God beginner bike.
Yeah, a true entry to the beginner bike and a great pathway for them to have something more like what Yamaha has, where it's like MT-03, MT-07, MT-09, MT-10.
Yes.
Trident would have this thing, Trident, Street Triple, Speed Triple.
Yep.
That'd be their kind of like mold, which is really cool. Again, that's stuff that Harley should be doing, but obviously not.
They really like making them CVOs.
They do. And they're like, it's gotta be a V-twin, brother.
Mm-hmm.
Can't be nothing else.
It's trickle down tech from the king of the baggers.
Exactly. So we're really excited about this Triumph. We're definitely going to keep up to date on the new stuff that's going on with it as more information comes out with it, but looks pretty promising.
Yep.
Looks pretty good.
So next up, speaking of CVOs.
Yes.
This one should be good.
Yeah, so Ducati has announced that they are launching the Ducati Unica customization program because of course they are. I think it's because someone in the back was like, wait, how many bikes do we have in GP? We don't have enough money for that. We gotta do something. They're like, how many GP21s did we promise?
Whoops.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, did we just buy Moto E?
Wait, every bike in Moto E is Ducati? We gotta raise some money here. So yeah, now they have the Ducati Unica program.
Yep.
So what is this?
So it is basically you work with the factory to make your custom Ducati, which is just like
the Centro Stile designers.
Yeah, one-off liveries for the ultra wealthy, basically.
Oh, they have one for the sled.
Yeah,
It's just like a scrambler.
Are you ready to?
Can I get a Ducati Unica Desert sled?
I bet you could.
Oh, that'd be sweet. Probably cost me an arm and a leg though.
You'd want the Unica Desert X. Let's be real.
Yeah, for sure. Someone's got to do that.
Yeah.
Someone out there watching Yamcast, but just make a Ducati Unica Desert sled or Ducati Desert X. You should definitely do that. That'd be very cool.
I'm just like, as if you needed your Ducati to be any more like bespoke and complicated. Imagine living with an Unica Ducati. Be like, okay,
never ride it.
This is one motorcycle that is super bespoke, limited run, because they said that this up here, we've got this Lamborghini thing is unit 500 of 500. So super limited run to pair up with the Aventador SVJ.
How vain must you be to be like, my Ducati has to match my Lamborghini? I'm like, get a hobby.
Yeah.
Get a life, dude. And that's so lame. That's so lame.
To be honest, though, I'm surprised that Ducati is willing to let their like design language go like that. Like that's got to hurt some of those old Ducatistas working in the factories to be like, the Superleggera is red.
I know.
It's red.
Yeah. But if you scroll down, I actually wanted to read something that I saw here a little bit more. Right here, it says, according to Ducati, only customers considered to be in line with the values of the brand and with the stylistic standards associated with it will be selected to take part, given that a single Ducati Unica motorcycle will be built per quarter for our North American customers. Wow. And reading between the lines, it's not a stretch to imagine those wishing to take part of it will likely have to have a history of brand loyalty and maybe more importantly, a Superleggera or two in the garage. This... As ridiculous as it sounds, this is really similar to what Ferrari does.
Yep.
Ferrari doesn't let you just walk in and get the top dog car that they make.
Yep.
You got to buy a couple of the low ones and prove that you really love Ferrari to get the other Ferraris, you know? Yeah. So Ducati's definitely playing that where it's like, look, if you want a Ducati Unica, you will have to prove to us that you're a Ducatista. Where is your espresso quick draw release? You know, where is your biscotti on a holster? You know,
you gotta have the biscotti bandolier around you. I still can't get past the fact that this is literally just like, all right, we made a V-twin R1M. Don't you know? I mean, it just looks like a Yamaha now.
It does look like a Yamaha. The colors are important. Ducatis are red.
Yeah.
You can't have a friggin' blue Ducati.
No.
That doesn't look right.
And
it looks like, it's like I was telling you when we first saw this article, it looks like stupid renderings that I see on Instagram, and people just like hodgepodge them together. They're like, would you ride this? Oh, it looks so cool. Like, no, it doesn't look cool.
No.
You've bastardized the Ducati.
Man, you're sounding like you're getting ready to be selected for the Unica program.
Oh, I mean, they saw how much I love their Multistrada and what I do with my desert sled, so clearly I'll be selected for Ducati Unica.
Okay, so Ducati is owned by Lamborghini, is owned by Audi.
Owned by Volkswagen.
Owned by
Group.
Volkswagen.
Yeah.
So why didn't they have Lamborghini bend to Ducati? It feels like, because Ducati's like the Ferrari of motorcycles, right? Why not let
Lamborghini's Lamborghini though. That's big.
It's just Lamborghini. Who gives a
I think we don't care because we're motorcyclists, but I think the average normie would drool much more over a Lamborghini than a Ducati.
this freaking heathens?
I know. Look,
Uncultured troglodytes.
It's just the way the world is, though. You know, like you park a Lamborghini and you park a Ducati, everyone's gonna look at the Lamborghini, not the Ducati. It's sad. It's the world we live in. Spite. I mean, what can I say? You know, it's sad.
I would like to see, because they made the Ducati Diavol or
Lamborghini
1250,
edition.
yeah, the Lambo edition, and I'm like, no, make your cherry red Lamborghini to match your Ducati.
Yeah,
that would be the way that I would go, because again, it's just a Lamborghini. Just make it like the little Lamborghini that everybody throws into their garage and makes have knowledge and put a Lamborghini in your garage.
Again, to some people, it's not like that, you know, like. And now a bunch of people are going to comment being like, you guys are poor and that's why you don't care about Lamborghini. And it's like, no. I just don't give a about any car, basically.
Because the ZX6 is faster than the Lamborghini.
Yeah, I don't care about a Lamborghini.
And it costs like not even a 10, like
150.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't even know. But Ducati Unica program does speak a little bit of CVO, but the exclusivity factor definitely seems much higher than a CVO, right?
Yeah, because, I mean, first of all, CVOs are designed, like, they spend a lot of time on the paint and all that stuff, and they're like, it looks super duper cool, hand painted, all that stuff.
Yeah.
But they're still, this is going to sound weird, but they're still just like 40 grand.
Yeah.
A Ducati Unica is probably going to be
figures.
like, easy six figures.
Easy 6 figures,
especially if you need to have a Super Leggera or two lying around to get in.
Yeah.
I mean, that makes the line so short for these bikes.
Yeah, so Cycle World here saying the program signals Ducati's intention to set itself apart as a builder of ultra-premium motorcycles, as if its many limited prediction run models wasn't enough. It brings a bit of the supercar experience to the two-wheeled realm, namely in its focus on exclusivity and customer care. So Claudio Domenicali, CEO of Ducati here, says the core values of the brand, style, sophistication, performance, and trust are more current than ever. Future growth will take place in compliance with these values, offering our enthusiastic customers products that are increasingly representative with a unique mix of beauty, technology, and distinctiveness, such as the best of made in Italy. So yeah, this is just another thing to kind of set themselves as, you know, the Ferrari of the motorcycling world, ultra premium manufacturing stuff. I still personally think that like MV Agusta's a little more limited than Ducati. Like it's a little more exclusive, you know, like
I mean,
you can't really, no one's ever really heard of them, you know what I mean? Like it's cooler.
I think if you roll up on an Unica Ducati sport bike, like say the V4 Unica or whatever, and you put it next to like a Sirioro, man, that MV is going to be the one that I would rather ride.
And then you put them all next to a T-Dub 200, and I'm like, damn, look at that T-Dub, though. Just because we're weird and quirky and have bad taste.
I mean, I would ride the T-Dub over either of them because...
My girlfriend always makes fun of me. She points out that I, like, always point out dumb, weird motorcycles. But I'm like, but they're the best ones. Mm-hmm. They're the best. Like, if I see a Van, I'm like, oh, it's a Van. She's like, what is that?
Because you could just treat it with max disrespect and you just have fun with it. Like, I don't think anybody's going to have fun with an Unica Ducati. Yeah. Of course not. They're just going to put it in their, you know, penthouse apartment.
And the worst part is the type of dude who would own an Unica. Mm-hmm. Would you really want to spend time with that person?
No. They're going to have the, like, mega tailored suit that, like, comes, the calf, or the cuff, the leg comes up halfway to their calf.
Yeah.
And it's tailored too tight in the junk. They're just going to be one of those greasy dudes. No, pass.
I'm good. Yeah. So that is the Ducati Unica program. Anything else you want to say about it?
Nah.
Yeah.
Whatever. It's Ducati being Ducati.
Yeah.
They're smelling their own farts.
Of course they are. Let's move on to the last bit of news. It is Kawasaki's hybrid patents detailed here.
So I actually thought that we had talked about this before, and we have. We have talked about Kawasaki hybrids, but I thought we had just talked about it, and that was their hydrogen engines.
Hydrogen, yes.
So Kawasaki's doing some crazy stuff with alternative kinds of motorcycle engines, which is cool.
Yeah.
And the hybrid idea is one that we've seen bandied about a handful of times as a motorcycle that can add additional life to the internal combustion engine, basically. But now there's actual patents. It's not just they're trying to, they're just throwing stuff out there. Now they're actually trying.
Yeah.
So this is cool. This is really cool to see.
I think for me, I think it's obvious where this needs to go, and we need to see a hybrid versus 650 so that we can then have a like the Prius of the motorcycling world can really come to fruition. No, hybrid NC 700 would be even better.
I mean,
there's a 750. I can never remember.
It's Kawasaki, so the Versus is what's going to happen first.
I know. Yeah, but I want Honda to make a hybrid NC
with the DCT.
Yes. God. No, hybrid versus 650. Think about it, man.
I mean, people will buy it.
They would buy it.
People would absolutely, because at that point, it is just an absolute mule motorcycle that you can commute on and do anything you want with.
It'd be the Camry of the motorcycling world.
Mm-hmm. The question, though, is how good is going to be? How good is the hybrid actually gonna be?
Yeah, and will it? I mean, here's the thing, though. Like, hybrids took off in cars, and electrics took off in cars, and all that stuff, because gas mileage was so abysmal for a while there in a lot of vehicles. Mm-hmm. Motorcycles naturally get really good gas mileage. So, what problem is this solving for exactly? In my like, what exactly would be the benefit? Like, even better gas mileage or extended range, maybe?
I think they're probably trying to future-proof for Euro 6, whatever the next Euro-apocalypse tightening emissions regulation is. This is probably what they're looking for. I bet you it's coming.
I mean, Suzuki mufflers can't get much bigger.
Oh, they'll just put a boat anchor out back.
You've seen the new Gixxer mufflers, right? Mm-hmm. It's comical how big it is. It looks like a cannon. It can't get much bigger than that.
I mean, the one that was on the ZH2 was gigantic.
Yeah.
It's huge. And even the ones that come on the little bikes now are 30 pounds worth of crap.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm looking at here, we have our standard combustion engine, and then this looks like where the battery is, the like actual battery-powered motor out back. How do you imagine that would change the weight of the bike? Like, that would make it handle funny.
That's my thing. I think it would add a lot of weight in a bit of a weird spot, right?
Because you're essentially making two engines.
Yeah. I'm sure Kawasaki engineers could figure it out to where to handle fine, but yeah, it's a bit of a strange thing to put a giant battery in the back there.
So they're saying it's about the size of a small conventional car battery.
Okay.
It's 48-volt lithium-ion battery, so it's not huge, but it's enough to just let you poodle around in the city. Yeah. Basically. Something like probably about the size of a little Grom engine would be my guess. Yeah. That's still like, if it's a battery size, like something like out of your truck probably would be my guess is what it actually turns into. Your truck batteries are heavy as you got a couple of them over there. Yeah. I tried moving them around. I was like, God damn, that battery's heavy. That's like 30 pounds worth of crap right under the seat.
And that's the thing about bikes that's challenging, is the packaging is so different than cars. Like I said, cars were able to adopt hybrid technology because they were able to package them so efficiently, because it's a giant box on wheels versus a bike that's really tightly, compactly packaged, and it weighs so little. Whereas if you add something that's 30 pounds to a bike, you drastically change the dynamics of that machine. Whereas like you chuck in extra 30 pounds on a truck, no one tells the difference.
Also, here's something to consider. So we've got our basic battery chunk here.
Mm-hmm.
That's exactly where your rear shock is.
Yeah.
So looking at this plan, they don't show the rear shock here or here, but they do have one with the rear shock there.
Yeah, it's
so,
like, well, where does the shock go then? Yeah.
Because you could put it like here, but that's where your airbox lives.
Yeah.
So it would have to go here, and then you'd have to devise a completely different rear suspension.
Yeah.
Or like put the rear suspension up here.
Yeah.
Which that would be weird.
This article also says here, it's another problem. Kawasaki's hybrid system places the electric motor atop the transmission where the upper rear suspension mount usually resides. Yeah, like we're saying. Yeah, again, the packaging would really have to be thought of very, very well.
Which this looks just insanely complicated.
Yeah, so it looks like it would mount up. Is that round thing the battery there?
This looks like, yeah, that's going to be their motor. So the electric motor is there driving the transmission, which means their battery is behind the shock.
Yeah, and there's like a weird like scaffolding.
Yeah, that the shock mounts up to, holding everything like the subframe to the engine. Yeah. This looks just insanely complicated.
It does look very complicated, and it further limits the ability for the average motorcyclist to service and work on their bike, which is something we've talked about before, right? Where as motorcycles increase with their technology, increase with their complexity, makes it harder and harder for you to work on, to the point where if you have a 400cc hybrid bike, man, what are you gonna? You're not gonna do anything to that thing, you know?
No. So I'm looking at it. I guess this is their idea for it. This is their electric motor. There's their electric battery. I'm not seeing a shock in there. Maybe that's this thing right here, but I still don't really see a shock.
I think that's what it is. Yeah,
that's got to be it. You're putting weight behind it on this. It's gonna feel weird.
Yeah,
I think.
Dylan on chat also mentions that the position of the battery could get too hot or not last long either.
Yeah, because you need to cool that down.
Yep.
And you need to cool down the electric motor because it's getting hot too.
Yeah, there's a reason why in cars the battery is like pretty far away from the engine in its own little like cubby. You know what I mean?
So, I mean, Kawasaki's throwing some money behind this. They're not just goofing around. So they'll figure it out, but it's going to be really complicated for a little entry-level bike.
But Kawasaki is interesting because their R&D department is pumping out really wild stuff lately. Like they had that electric bike with like thumb shifters. They had this hybrid thing. I mean, they literally launched and produced several supercharged motorcycles where no one else was even touching that. Looking at you, Suzuki. Forced induction. Where you at, dude? So yeah, I think if anyone can do it, Kawi certainly can.
Yep.
Because they're out making like marine grade equipment, you know, printing money, and then they're like, let's dick around with motorcycles for a little bit. You know, it's not they're not leading with that as their profit margins for like their company. Like they make like industrial grade equipment.
So here's a question: would you get a hybrid motorcycle? Like, okay, you have a choice between electric motorcycle and hybrid motorcycle.
Well, if that's the choice, then yeah, I'll take hybrid. I'll have to take hybrid just because, like, man, the electric ones just really don't do it for me, you know?
But then if you have the choice between mega choked up, unmoddable gas bike where they're like, you can't change the exhaust system, it's against the law, because who knows, maybe that happens.
Yeah.
Or you get a hybrid bike, or you get an electric bike. Do you stay with the choked up normal gas bike?
I don't know. That just sounds like a future I don't want to live in. It just sounds sad, you know?
It seems like there's no winning either way.
Yeah. What would you do?
I don't know, man. It's because if they could make a hybrid motorcycle that's still exciting when you get on the gas, okay, sure. Because poodling around in the city with a hot-ass engine sucks. So it'd be kind of nice to have the bike just running on the battery.
Honestly,
and not the engine.
Yeah. Maybe that's good. You know?
So if you can get it to be when it's on the gas, if you can get it to actually still feel like a regular motorcycle, I'd give it a try.
Yeah, honestly, I hadn't thought about that. Like in super high horsepower and high performance applications, for heat management and low speeds, just use the hybrid, use the battery, right? Just do EV mode if it has that, up to like 15 miles an hour or something. And then once you surpass that and you're out of the city, get back on the gas, turn it on and go.
Yep.
That's not bad. Yeah.
I could live with that.
So now we'll just combine that with the, what is it, the J concept, where like you speak and it turns into something else.
The J concept is crazy, so wild.
Cowie's crazy.
But this is an interesting. I wonder which one is going to hit first, hybrid or like synth gas, hydrogen fuel.
I think hybrid, just because there's no infrastructure for that fuel.
Yeah,
that's my thinking. But someone on chat brought up a great point that we hadn't talked about, is price.
Ooh, yeah. So the Ninja's like $5,000.
Yeah, 54, something like that.
Dirt cheap.
Yep.
It's crazy light, 360-ish pounds.
Yep.
That's going to be heavy. It's going to be expensive.
Yes. Yeah, I'd wager it'd be 40 pounds heavier than the regular Ninja 400, which would still be lighter than a CBR 500R. I would like to point that out. I just want to put that out there. Hybrid Ninja 400 lighter than a CBR 500R. Y'all can get off my dick about the CBR being a good bike, because it's not. Sorry, I had to put that out there. Whitney, you can cut that out if you need to. This is not a good bike. It's not. I'm tired of people telling me it's a good bike. It's boring as hell to ride. Where is this going? Let me think.
I mean, you're not wrong. It sucks.
What about this? Because you know how the CBR 500 is like $7,400 or something, 72. What if Cowie could build a hybrid 400 that was lighter and cheaper than a CBR 500R? Then will the A2 boys shut the up? Then will you shut up about the CBR 500R? Maybe. I don't know.
Jesus.
And it sucks because they tell me it's like as if I hadn't ridden the bike. I'm like, I had one as a giveaway bike.
We had it for 4 months.
I had it for 4 months.
We really tried.
Every single one of those 4 months. Yeah. Anyways, that's going to wrap up the news for this week. We're now going to move on to the DM portion of the podcast. Alrighty, boys, welcome to the DM portion of the podcast. If you want to join up on this segment of the podcast, you can join over on yammynoob.co. Become a member of our Discord server, and you can watch this stream live, send us questions, hang out with us. I'm on the stream and the Discord all day. I'm not on the stream all day. Obviously, I do this once a week, not all day. But I am on Discord literally every single day, checking and interacting with people. So if you want to hang out with me, Spider's on there too. It's a ton of fun. And today on the DM portion of the podcast, we are talking the future of motorcycling, right?
Yeah.
As we just talked about hybrid bikes, we thought it'd be fun to chat with the boys about what is it like, you know, for the future of bikes if you have to choose between a hybrid bike, an electric bike, a super choked up gasoline motorcycle, an e-bike, all these different two-wheeled forms of transportation. Where do you go, you know?
Yeah. And how I guess suppose how long do you see before we're forced to make that decision?
Oh, God. Before the government comes from a Turbo Busa.
Dude, they're coming for that Turbo Busa
I'm
sooner.
never going to die on a Turbo Busa. Big government can take Turbo Busa from my cold dead hands. Yeah, so let's start off with ourselves. Get the boys some time to send in their DMs. What would you do if faced with that choice? You cannot have a conventional, decent gasoline motorcycle. You have to get some sort of super choked up bike, a hybrid, an electric. Where would you go?
I would probably, just to maintain at least a little bit of the livelihood of a regular motorcycle, I'd probably stay with a hybrid. Because I do see the value of potentially having a nice, quiet city bike.
Yeah.
You know? But I also want a gas engine because the smell, they feel alive. There's something about that you can't get rid of. And I'm just not sure if they're going to be able to give that to you and still meet emissions.
Nothing was ever more clear for that for me than the time that we rode the Zero SRF and the MT-09 back to back. And I remember I was on the Zero SRF and I was like, wow, it's smooth, magic carpet, fun thing. But then I got on the MT-09 and I was like, no, this is the real thing, you know?
Yep.
It's like drinking diet soda versus like a real soda, you know?
Yep.
I literally don't drink soda, but it was just the first analogy I came up with. Yeah, probably just melt my eyeballs. No, but it's it's like decaf versus real coffee. I don't know. There's something about the real thing.
Yeah,
and the bike is the real thing.
You can't simulate a gas engine. There's those weird electric bikes that have the like clutch and the fake shake and the noise, and you can't fake it.
I just thought of a really dirty example, but in the interest of everyone, I cannot say it on here.
Oh boy.
I'll say it on the Yamcast, and then maybe Whitney can edit it out if it's terrible. It's like a real thing. You know? Come on, man. You can't compare them.
Nope. With that, maybe we should go back to...
Well, you didn't ask me what I think.
But I feel like all right, what do you think? I feel like we already know after that outburst.
No, I think that I honestly, if I had to face the new world order where I cannot have a normal motorcycle and I have to have some weird like facsimile or simulacra of a motorcycle, I'd get one of those. I'd get a one wheel like that guy that just zipped by. No, I honestly think I would do like an e-bike. I think I would be on camp e-bike. I think for me, it would be the real deal or nothing, and I would just get like an e-mountain bike, or I would just.
So you just give up?
I think I'd just give up because I'd be so sad. I honestly, I think I'd just be like, I knew what it was like before. I can't do this. I think I'd just give up.
I could see a lot of people thinking those thoughts.
Yeah.
Because you are going to have to sacrifice so much.
You have to sacrifice so much. I'm like, what's the point? I used to run an open pipe Turbo Busa. Now I have to ride a hybrid Ninja 400. It's not the same.
Hybrid versus 650, man.
It's not the same. Not the same. But with that, let's see what the boys had to say.
We got Hartman Foscari up here.
Hartman Foscari says, if the question is electric versus hybrid versus choked ICE, assuming graphene tech is released, then electric. If current tech, I'd go with choked ICE, DCT included, of course. He is our resident DCT transmission boy on the stream. I don't know what graphene tech is. Do you know what that is?
Yeah, so it's basically they're these different carbon structures that they can put into batteries that theoretically make them lighter, more efficient, and all that stuff. I'm not 100% sure, but I do know it's these graphene rods that are super tough and super cool.
Yeah.
I'm not a physicist, not a material scientist.
I think we have proven time and time again here on the Yamcast that our science knowledge is very limited.
I write dick jokes on the internet, guys. But yeah, it is this cool new technology that's coming out that's supposed to make shit actually useful and fun.
Yeah.
Basically. But I still see that being light years ahead.
Yeah.
You know, it was just starting to be a thing when I was in college. I remember that.
Yeah.
Next up, we got OG Perp.
OG Perp 247 says, I choose death. Taking the black pill like I did. You know, just deciding that, you know what? No, I choose no option. I just choose death.
Yeah. I think a lot of people would be in that camp, just be like, no, I'm done.
Yeah.
I'm out. Cash my chips in.
Yep.
I had my fun while I could.
Exactly. I'll tell my kids, be like, I used to run real motorcycles.
Mm-hmm.
Now you can't because the world sucks.
Would you keep one around just in the back room, just in some break in case of apocalypse kind of thing?
I honestly think I would still run a motorcycle until I just get repeatedly pulled over and being like, you cannot be on this machine. Because I don't think it would be enforced for a long time anyways, especially around here and in the States and stuff. So I don't know. Yeah.
Rude is up.
Rude says, I'm so lazy, man. I'm actually not against taking my bike in to have someone else work on it. Seeing a couple bucks sometimes just isn't worth wasting the Sunday. So if I have to have a choked up bike I can't work on, as long as it has a real engine in it, I'll take it.
I see that.
Yeah, that's kind of the point you made. It's like, as long as it still has a real engine in it, you know, we're still there. You know what I mean? You can still have a real engine, still have a clutch, throttle.
And a lot of people don't work on their own motorcycles.
Yeah.
It's not uncommon. I've gotten to the point where certain jobs on my KTM, I'm just like, you can do it for me. Thank you.
Totally. I mean, I'm that way too. I'll do like basic maintenance and mods and stuff, but like actual work, no. I don't do it.
It's not worth it. Next up, we got Loop TJ.
Loop TJ says, if the future of motorcycling doesn't include the pops and bangs of an ICE, time to start hoarding dyno juice so I can keep riding until I loop myself to death. A lot of people on this train. Yeah. They're just like, it's full-on motorcycling or nothing, you know?
Mm-hmm. We've got JM Fire next.
JM Fire says, I'd honestly prefer hydrogen over anything. I don't think the capacity of the ICE portion of a hybrid will be powerful enough when you give her the beans. E.g., if you're making a Ninja 400 into a hybrid, I don't think they'd be able to fit the Kawi 400 plus the electric motor and battery. I don't think they could fit the 400 into that frame. So yeah, the packaging's a bit of an issue there. I honestly think that we're going to see hybrids and mics not at the low end of the spectrum, but at the high end of the spectrum. Like we were talking about high performance vehicles. Because you've seen that in cars where a lot of hypercars from like Ferrari, Porsche, a lot of them have hybrid powertrains just added on for giggles, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's some Porsche that I can't remember that you can run it in pure EV mode and then you turn on some insane like, twin turbo V8 or something. You know what I mean?
I mean, what about the idea of these being in adventure bikes as opposed to like the sport bike? I see them probably starting there because they're bigger motorcycles, more room.
Yeah.
Weight isn't really a consideration among those big ass adventure bikes.
True.
So
hybrid CVO.
Yeah.
If weight isn't a concern, God, that's one way to make the Harley diehards and come after you with pitchforks, right?
Or like a Goldwing.
The Goldwing.
Like, why not start
hybrid Goldwing?
What do you think about that?
I like it. I mean, I don't, but I do. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's the best application for it.
Mm-hmm. At least currently.
It riles me up less than a hybrid versus 650.
You got the hybrid versus 650 is the antithesis of everything we stand for.
It's very true. But the Goldwing is like leaning into it, right?
Yeah. I feel like that's a good application for one.
Yeah.
Although, so looking at those pictures that we had earlier about them not being able to fit, that seemed like the full-size Ninja 400 motor. I spent a lot of time looking at that engine.
I knew that frame as soon as I saw it. I'm like, that's a Ninja 400 frame motor. Yep.
Yeah, and so who knows? Maybe they can actually fit it in there and still give you the fun of the ICE engine. Who knows? Just Jack says here,
I guess in the no-win situation, I'd go with the hybrid. The biggest thing would be if you couldn't mod the choked-up gas bike, but could still make some mods to the hybrid. You'd have to learn some new stuff, but if the hybrid is more accessible, then I'd have to go with that. Yeah. I think we're finding two camps. I have not heard anybody saying they'd go electric motorcycle.
No.
I don't think people really want that, man. Honestly.
Because it's not meant for motorcyclists, really. It's meant to be like a thing where you start on a pedal bike and then you get your electric bicycle and then you get your electric motorcycle.
Yeah.
That seems like the progression there, which, I mean, it's a little bit sad, but...
It is sad. Especially considering that I have ridden an electric motorcycle. I have way more fun on a regular pedal bicycle than an electric motorcycle, honestly. Like, I do. Like, it's more fun to ride a real bicycle than a friggin' electric motorcycle.
But it's funny that there's so much pushback against electric bikes, or electric bike motorcycles specifically. Yeah. I wasn't really... I was expecting more people to be like, I get it. No. But maybe, here's one thing to consider. Like, a lot of people live in buildings like I do, where you're big multi-family buildings with this shared garage that's communal. You can't charge an electric motorcycle in there anywhere.
Not only that, but after the situations you've had where your friggin' bikes have been attempted theft so many times, you want them to be inside your home, right?
Yeah.
Like...
It would be easier to do that with an electric motorcycle because there's no internal combustion engine, so you're not going to like violate a lease agreement or anything like that. But you still have to negotiate this big freaking motorcycle down the hallways.
Yeah, which is why I think the e-bike makes much more sense than a full-size electric motorcycle.
Yeah. So next up, we've got Phil.
Phil here says that I feel that no matter how much they choke up ICE bikes, there will always be places to unlock/remap the ECUs. It's getting harder and harder.
It's getting real hard.
Getting really hard. Unless governments decide to outright make it illegal. Hybrids would probably be the only one for me. Synthetic gas might be the future, though. Yeah, I think, again, a lot of people holding out for the hybrids, the synthetic gas. But I think for me, the synthetic gas thing is just... The only way I could see it work is if existing fuel stations could open up new pumps that have like the synthetic fuel and the different kinds of fuel and offer it. Like some pumps have like E85, for example. It's a different type of fuel. Some of them have it, some of them don't. I could see that, but
keep that corn juice out of my car.
So yeah, I mean maybe that's how it would work, but yeah.
I don't know that synth gas is, especially if people, because I've heard more than since we did that Kawasaki thing about hydrogen. I've heard more people being like, yeah, hydrogen. I've seen it propping up more and more.
Yeah.
I don't see how that is A, safe, and B, you can even roll it out.
I don't know. Again, Science is not our forte on this channel.
Nope.
We always get lambasted when we talk about anything science-based. Economics is my forte, and motorcycles to a lesser extent. But yeah, don't come at me with, I barely passed chemistry in high school. That's not my bag.
I took it twice in college and didn't do great either time. Next up, we got Not That Nate.
Not That Nate says, Q the police because I'm keeping my current bikes even if they outlaw them. Honestly, same.
Mm-hmm.
Same.
You just end up riding dirty until they keep busting you.
Not to sound like or I'm very badass or something like that, but I would not get rid of my bikes unless someone literally made me. Or unless I just keep getting pulled over when I take them out.
Yeah.
You can't make me.
What about if you could put your stock pipe back on and get away with it a little longer?
Yeah. I would do that for sure.
I would get another stock pipe.
I'd be fine. Because a lot of new bikes, like the 2ono that we have, it's got the stock pipe, but it's got this cool servo motor and the intake sound. It's still freaking sweet.
And it still pulls
awesome.
like a goddamn animal.
Yeah, it's extremely fast.
So you can still have good bikes, I suppose.
Yeah.
Next up, we got the Rarest Mally.
The Rarest Mally says, hey, Spite, if I had to choose, I'd take the hybrid all the way, because at least then I still have a gas-powered motor, and I agree about the heat in the city. Also, is there a link for the fanfic? I would love to read it since I missed the last 2 lives, or the readings on the actual Yamcast, so I can hear them on the uploaded ones. You don't have to read this particular part live. Well, sorry, I just did.
Put that part first.
Yeah, sorry about that. I believe the fanfic is on the Yamcast. It's in the Yamcast. So the last 2 Yamcasts have the episodes, the 2 chapters of the fanfic that we are currently reading and working through.
Yep. So you can sit and just find the chapter and listen to yourself some weird.
It's very wholesome.
It's very wholesome so far.
We've learned a couple things that leads me to believe some weird stuff's gonna happen.
Some weird stuff is about to happen.
About to happen, but we'll see.
But another one for hybrid bike. So just no electric bike.
Nobody
people.
wants an electric bike. Well, we don't have Magic Toaster on here to defend it.
Yeah, even he would have a hard time defending it. I mean, come on, dude. Nobody likes electric bikes. Not even you. You just ride the Energica.
Yeah, I really don't think anyone does. Yeah.
I do think that having the electric motor in the city, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, I could get along with that, especially in traffic, because I ride my
VFR.
On the VFR used to get to 228 degrees.
Insane.
It's so hot.
Yeah.
It would be difficult in that one because it's a V4, but I could really make the case for it because it keeps the bike cool, it keeps you from freaking melting in the Texas heat. And stop and go traffic means you basically don't even need to touch your brakes. You just use the regenerative braking.
Yeah.
I could make the case.
Could be kind of cool.
I guess we'd have to, again, we'd see if we can give her the beans like that one guy said.
Yeah.
The Chazen is next.
Chazen here says, I would be happy with a corked up ICE, but if forced, I would go electric scoot with removable battery. Okay, first one here with an electric.
That I truly believe is going to be the future. I really do think, especially for city living folks, who they basically get the dirt cheap electric motorcycle or scooter with the swappable battery. And then unfortunately, because we live in the world we live in, you're going to have to get a subscription to get your battery swapped. But
I don't know, man. I really think that the humble electric bicycle is going to win out. It's less complexity. It's usually less cost. You can keep pedaling it once it's done. You can plug it in inside your house. It looks like a bicycle. And for most cases, even Austin is a very bikeable city. That's what I want to say. Yeah. You can get around on a bicycle pretty good in Austin. And if you have an e-bike, it's even easier, you know? So even Austin, that is not super city-friendly designed, it's kind of a little sprawly, right? You look at somewhere maybe like LA. I feel like you could get around pretty decently as long as there's infrastructure for bike lanes or you create new laws for cars to work with bicycles in that way.
Chicago actually would be great because they have that massive lakeshore path that goes from all the way to the north side, mega north side, to all the way almost to Indiana.
Wow.
It's a really huge bike path, and if you can open it up to EVs And you can actually get around downtown from what I remember. It's been a while since I've driven in downtown Chicago.
Yeah.
But I remember bikes being pretty easy to get around. I used to ride my bike from Belmont Harbor to 47th Street, which is like 6 or 12 miles or something like that. It's a long haul, but if you were on an electric bike, sure, you avoid a ton of traffic that way.
Yeah, and I think that's how we could convince people to be on two-wheelers is because it's like, hey, look, like it'll be cheap as you can get around traffic super easily. You can get to where you're trying to go a lot quicker, especially as cities get more and more congested. But man, some people are just like, they gotta be in the little vehicle. They gotta be in a four-wheel vehicle. They feel safer. There's comfort. And I get it. I mean, you look outside right now. Do you want to be on a bike?
Fuck no.
No, hell no. It's like 40 degrees and raining. No, thank you. I'm so happy I have my truck waiting to chariot me home in the utmost comfort.
Yeah, you got the remote start too. So before we
warm
wrap
it
up, you're gonna warm it up. I think that the electric bicycle, it's going to be the thing that saves the cities.
I think so.
But I'm still interested. The more I think about it, about the hybrid motorcycle, I think it's got potential.
Yeah.
And then OG Perp has come back with a little something here.
Electric would only be cool if implemented the tech from the new Tesla where you can download other vehicle soundtracks that plays from external speakers.
There is something that does this. It's basically, I forget the company, but it exists where they've got a motorcycle that has a shifter peg and it will imitate the power band, and it like makes noise and vibrates and stuff.
Yeah.
We watched a video of it. I can't remember the name of it for the life of me, but I showed you a video of it and it was on a dyno and we both were like, that doesn't sound right.
I remember that. Yeah.
Those like weird simulacra things, they never feel, especially, I think they could make a hybrid be its own thing.
Yeah.
Where if you're trying to chase down the genuine article when you can't do it, you're never going to get there.
Yep.
So, and then we have Hartman Foscari probably explaining the carbon rods. Oh, no.
And he just says, hey, now I would ride in that weather. God bless you. Why? No, don't want to at all. All right, folks, that's going to wrap up the DM portion of the podcast. We're now going to move on to the meme contest. Let's go. Alrighty, everyone, welcome to the meme contest of the week. I actually saw on the comments of one of the other Yamcast some questions about the meme contest. This is a contest that we actually do on Discord, and there are real prizes. We actually do, what is it, $100 gift card for first place?
$100 for first place.
Second place is $50, and then third is $25, right?
T-shirt.
That's even better. That's way better than $25. Come on, you get a Yammy Noob t-shirt. So if you want to join up on these contests and have fun with us, you join over on yammynoob.co, join the Discord, and you can actually send us submissions. If your memes are good enough, we show them here on the Yamcast and all that. It's a ton of fun, and it's one of the best parts of the week where we get to check out all the fun memes that we do. So it actually is a real contest that we do, and it's a lot of fun.
Yep.
So without further ado, this week's meme contest was a new format you developed, wasn't it?
Yeah, I basically made a panel meme where it came from the Ducati reveal, and I was just thinking, we never memed that moment.
Yeah,
and it's such a memeable moment.
Yeah.
So I gave them the initial reaction and then a green screen on your surface to make easy photoshopping, and then where you're like that. So let's dive in with our first entry from, not that one. Where is it? Our first entry from CY3R. I believe this one has the Pornhub music in it.
Okay. I love that photo of you at the end. That's great. Yeah, classic. Love it. I love how you played this earlier because you were doing something with it, and I was like, what are you watching over there?
Everybody's ears perked up.
Yeah, because everyone knows that breakdown. Come on.
So for CY3R here, quality.
It's good quality. It was funny because even though it was a panel image meme, he still managed to flip a little image at the end of it. Yeah, I liked it. How about an 8?
An 8. And funniness.
Good chuckle. I think a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
That is a 15, a solid start. Next
Solid
up,
start.
we've got Jellied Monster 2 with...
Ooh, you got to make that bigger. Can't
Yep.
read that.
Let's go even bigger.
Still can't read it. There we go. So it's me looking at the screen that says, I gotta stand up here and look at it. Papa Yam and Spite Shop Electric Love Part 1.
Electric Love One Romance, $69, 69 Busa bucks. Award-winning New York Times bestseller. Best book ever, said no one.
magazine.
Spicier than the weak old gooch juice Hobo Joe. By weirdo shippers.
Nice. Yeah, I would be very shocked if I saw that for sale.
So, for Jellied Monster 2 here, the little weird erotic fanfic book ad.
Yeah. I think it's a 7 for quality.
Yep. And funniness.
What do you think?
I think a 6.
I think a 6. Yeah, pretty funny.
13. Next up, we've got Chancy Boy.
He always comes with good memes. So Chancy Boy. So it's me, and then what am I looking
Enough
at
for
there?
a functional laptop. Making
Oh,
fun of the Surface.
It's a screenshot of the like a Chase account or something.
Yep.
In case you guys don't know, my humble little Surface here that I've had for 3 years that I bought used off my brother's. It's probably like 5 years old. It's just been chugging along, you know. It's just the humble warrior of Yammy Noob.
Somehow it just keeps going.
Somehow.
And yet now if you asked it to open a new tab,
It would
we'd
not
be
do
here
it.
for 5 minutes.
It wouldn't do it.
So,
Yeah,
for...
so clearly that is the issue. I wish I could afford a new laptop. I just can't, though. I just keep buying more and more motorcycles. I just love how, somehow I bought a brand new 501, but can't get a laptop. Sad.
we should just get that MSI partnership back on the table.
Yeah, that would be nice.
All right, so for Chancy Boy here, quality.
I like that. How about a 7.5?
A 7.5. And funniness.
It was pretty funny. How about a 7.5 as well?
7.5. That is a solid 15. We got a runoff for first now. For now, Millennial Malaise is next, and he's always a heavy hitter.
I like this one.
This is simple.
It's simple, yeah. It's just me looking at the scream, but I am the scream, and then at the bottom I become the scream. Yeah, it's kind of like abstract. It's kind of cool, yeah.
It fits really well, too.
It does, yeah. I like it.
The more I look at it, the more like kind of weird and haunting it becomes.
Yeah. I like these kind of weird off-the-wall memes.
This is good.
Yeah.
Okay, so for Millennial Malaise, quality here.
I think it's decent qual. I think like 7.
A 7.
It's a simple little Photoshop job, you know?
But funniness.
Funniness is good. I think at least an 8.5.
An 8.5.
Got a good chuckle.
That is a 15.5.
Whoa.
Next
Leader.
up, Odang 12. With that one.
Damn it. Odang 12's got me looking at a Triumph dog, a Ducati dog, and I'm like, oh my god. Yeah, that would be a great dream of mine. Although, apparently, friendship with Triumph and Ducati canceled. Husqvarna, best friend now.
Yeah.
That 501 is man, I love that thing.
Well, you still got the Daytona. Or we were trying to have this conversation earlier. Are you truly a Triumph simp, or are you just a Daytona simp?
I'm a Daytona simp, for sure.
Yeah.
Because, like, I've ridden plenty of the other bikes. I'm like, oh, they're fine. I'm like, it's not a Daytona. I'm like, there is only the Daytona. I'm for sure just I'm a second-gen 2013 to 2017 675 simp.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I am.
Motorcycling peaked between those 4 years.
Absolutely. That is the greatest sport bike frame ever made. No one can change my mind. It's the best bike ever made for sport. Yeah. This is hilarious, though.
Yes. All right, so Odang 12, quality.
It's simple. It's a 7 for quality.
Yeah. But funniness, though.
9.
Yeah.
Very funny. Good chuckle.
That's a solid 16.
Watch that win, and he's like, I just made 2 dogs into a meme. It's like, wow. All right.
You don't always need to shoot for the moon. You just got to be good.
Gotta get something funny. Yeah.
The Chazen is next. Another heavy hitter. That's more Odang 12. There we go.
The Chazen here has a search bar. Says, I'm looking at the screen. It says Husky Dirt Boys
getting hard.
Getting hard. Oh, going hard. That's pretty good. Yeah, do not Google that. That's don't Google that ever.
Is this something? This has to be an Inside Dirt Boys joke.
Well, it's about the 501, the Husky 501, right? The Husky Dirt Boys going hard, you know?
Okay.
Yeah, because weirdly enough, on the Dirt Boys channel, the same day I got my 501, another guy bought a 501, and Badassler bought his EXCF 500, which is basically the same bike.
Yeah.
So 3 of us got 500s in the same day, so we're all just like sitting there circle jerking, you know? Be like, this is the best bike ever. Oh my god.
Oh man. Okay,
Yeah.
so quality here for the Chazen.
I think it's 6.5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And funniness.
Pretty funny. I think it's 7.5.
7.5. That's 14. Next up, we've got Vince 82. This is
82
the slide school, the Royal Enfield slide school.
says, "Damn, Spite never leaves the office. Finally alone. Time to check out some adult stuff." And it says, "Royal Enfield Slide School. You will be mine, Flat Tracker Meteor 350."
They don't use the Meteor. They use the
Interceptor.
Himalayan.
I thought it was a 650.
No, in the
Slide School is the Himalayan.
It's the Himalayan.
Because even Royal Enfield's like, if you drop it, I don't care.
Those things. So I watched because we filmed the Whitney slide school video when we went to Get On MotoFest, and I watched it. Even in like the hopped up like slide school trim, they sound like ass.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Royal Enfield people. That bike sounds awful.
Yeah. We may get one as a beginner bike giveaway. It's supposedly on my calendar.
Uh-oh. You do realize that bike makes like 23 horsepower, right?
I do.
And it weighs 400 and something pounds.
We might do the 650 instead. Yeah.
Okay.
And see if we can unjunkify it. It wasn't a bad bike.
No.
It was not a bad bike.
Okay, so for Vince 82 here, quality.
I liked it. I think a 7.5 for quality.
7.5.
That was good.
And funniness.
It's pretty funny. How about a 7?
7.
Yeah.
14.5. Next up, we've got Badassler.
I wonder what he's got for us. This is a real inside joke. Okay, so it's me, and then I'm looking at 30 pounds of tannerite in a mailbox and going like, wow. So I told everyone that I would actually read this on the Yamcast when this came up. I hope I can find it. Maybe I pinned it. I don't remember if I did. I have to search for it. It'll be worth it. I'll have to explain what's going on here.
Okay.
I found it. Okay. So, do you remember a Discord user called Woodard?
Yes.
So, Woodard has become a bit of a legend in Discord because he was there for only about 8 days. And every day he was there, some crazy kept happening to him. Mm-hmm. Actually, one Discord user came up with the Gospel of Woodard. And so it's day 1, the first day he was there, blowing up mailboxes and 30 pounds of tannerite, because he said that he was going to put 30 pounds of tannerite into a mailbox. And many people pointed out that, number 1, that's insanely illegal, and number 2, that's enough to like fell a fully grown tree.
Yeah.
That's a lot of explosives. Insane. Day 2 was an epic rant about his first bike being a $20,000 cruiser. Day 3, he was a pro racer. Day 4, it was drugs. Day 5, he flipped a Toyota Corolla.
Oh, now I remember. Yeah.
Day 6, he lashed out at everyone, and no lesson learned. Day 7 was a rest day, aka a 24-hour mute. Day 8 was to gloat about lacking insurance, and then I think we banned him. So this dude just came in, just wrecked for like 8 days, and then left. It's just hilarious.
That's great.
Yeah. We were having a really funny time remembering Woodard the other day on Discord, and so Badassler here made this meme sort of as remembrance to Woodard and his 30 pounds of tannerite in a mailbox.
Suddenly it's back.
You can't even fit 30 pounds of tannerite in a mailbox. Like,
No.
you have to put it adjacent to a mailbox, and if you blow it up, it's like, well, there never was a mailbox. There was there.
Like, if you put it adjacent to the mailbox, you'll just separate it from the ground and send it shooting to the moon.
Yeah.
All right.
So the Gospel of Woodard, very good.
The Gospel of Woodard that is a piece that needs to be, like, printed out.
Yeah, we need to pin that. I'm going to pin that.
Yes.
So we don't forget.
So, for Bad Assler here, quality.
Quality, it's a very simple Photoshop job. I think a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
And funniness. This is a super inside joke.
It's a super inside joke, so not immediately apparent, so I'm going to have to give it a 6.
Yeah.
But I love remembering the Gospel of Woodard. And it turns out that I did pin this message to main chat, so we will never forget the Gospel of Woodard.
Next up, we've got Sergeant Wiggles. Oh man, this looks like it's going to be a full-on video. Here we go.
Okay, let's see. Sergeant Wiggles. Oh, God. Wait, pause it on there.
What the
No! Oh, no, dude! Oh, man. That is some degenerate Why are people like this? See, y'all go to the you go to the Revzilla podcast. Tell me you're gonna see like this on there.
Oh man,
good God. See, they have to answer to a higher private equity power, not like us. There is no gods, no men, only beasts.
What the fuck?
And then it's me, all surprised. Wow. Wow. If there was a degeneracy category, you'd be a 10 out of 10.
If we had a degeneracy category, we couldn't stream this live.
Absolutely not.
Okay, so Sergeant Wiggles here. Quality.
Good quality, honestly. Made a little video out of it. Did not need to. I think an 8.5.
An 8.5.
That was funny. Yeah, that was good.
And funniness.
That was pretty funny. I think an 8.
An 8.
Yeah.
That is 16.5, and that becomes our number one spot.
Wow. I mean, it was very funny and peculiar.
Let's see if Jixer Squid can take it here with our last entry today.
He's taking it on the line. This is also related to Woodard, I think. It's me looking at the day 6. It says lash out, and me like, shocked. And yes, I'm seeing here the Gospel of Woodard, day 6, lash out at everyone. Another inside joke about Woodard. We've had so many interesting folks come into the Discord for like a couple of days and just completely flame out and then leave.
Or the one dude who was just like, Hondas are unsafe, and then left.
Yes.
He just dropped that pearl of wisdom and then disappeared.
There's also the dude that said nitrogen is the answer to this problem. And now we're just like, anything that happens, we're like, nitrogen is the answer to this problem. It could be any problem, and nitrogen is the answer.
Okay, so for Jixer Squid, quality here.
I think a 7.
A 7.
Yeah.
And funniness.
Inside joke as well. I think I have to rate it the same as Badass. I think a 6.
A 6.
Yeah.
That means we got a couple of runoffs on the down ballot here. So,
but we do have first place with Sergeant Wiggles with that absolutely cursed rendition of that.
Yeah, that was rough.
That was very peculiar. But
second goes
don't
to
feel good
Odang.
about giving that first place.
Okay, we gotta. He won.
Yeah.
Second with the dogs.
Very good.
Because that's the way it works now. And then Millennial Malaise with 15.5.
15.5.
So we actually don't have any ties this time. Everybody's off cooldown.
Sweet. Well, there you have it. Another meme contest in the books. Thank you so much for tuning into this week's Yamcast. If you've made it all the way here to the end, you should join the Discord. I tell you guys this every time at the end. If you've made it to the end of a Yamcast you've enjoyed, you will enjoy the Discord. It is a good time in there. You will not regret it, and you can participate in the contest and have some fun. All that being said, we'll catch you in the next one. See you later. Keep watching Yammy News.